Welcome to The Economy. How do you measure that? The podcast where we explore the fascinating world of macroeconomic statistics, one transaction at a time. I'm your host, Jim Tebrake. Today we're looking at something many of us use every day, AI tools like chatbots. A subscription to a chatbot has often been priced at about $20 per month. But over time, the service has improved dramatically. New models have become faster, more capable, and able to handle more complex tasks. So here's the question. If the price hasn't changed, but the quality keeps improving, what happens in economic statistics? To help us unpack this, I'm joined by Barra Casey, an expert in price statistics. So Barra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks.
Okay, so let's start with the basic puzzle. If there's a chatbot, and 3 years ago I was paying $20 a month for that chatbot. And today I'm paying $20 a month for that chatbot. Does that mean the price hasn't changed?
Not necessarily, Jim. So I guess when we're calculating an economic statistic like the consumer price index, right? What we're trying to measure is the price of constant quality products. Okay, so in your example with the chatbot for the subscription for the chatbot. It's clear, that over the last year or so, there's been dramatic improvements in these products over time, right? So if we think about maybe the price per unit of those AI services, clearly there's been a reduction in price because that sticker price or that nominal price hasn't changed. It's still $20, but what the consumer is receiving for your $20 has dramatically improved, right? So in terms of economic statistics, we should be recording that as a price reduction.
Okay, so you're not just looking at the sticker price.
Absolutely not, Jim. No. So I guess every country produces a consumer price index, right? So and generally it's the statistical office, and they have a team of price collectors, out in the field collecting prices from every month, right? So they're a very hardworking crew of people, right? But the important thing to remember is that they're not just collecting the prices, right? They're collecting the detailed specifications for each product within the sample for the consumer price index, right? So in your case of the subscription for the chatbot, they're collecting the $20, right? They're checking if the price has changed from period to period, but they're also collecting that very detailed information about what's included in the subscription from period to period, right? So that's incredibly important, right? Because that information is then passed to the CPI statistician, who uses that information to do this quality adjustment that we've been speaking about.
Okay, so let's make this a concrete example, right? So suppose 3 or 4 years ago, I had a subscription to a chatbot. It was good at analyzing text, could give me some information back, but not a lot of information back. Today, those same chatbots, you can code with them, you can analyze images, you can write complete reports with these things. Yeah, their capabilities has incredibly improved. So, can you work that out for me? Like, how does that all fit into what I think you're saying is a price decrease?
Yeah, for sure. The key thing to bear in mind, Jim, is what is the consumer receiving, right? So we're not just concerned with that sticker price. We're concerned with what the consumer is receiving for that money, right? So like in the example of the chatbot, it's been clear there's been dramatic changes in this market, right? So like we can see that in terms of interpretation of images, creation of images, analyzing documents, analyzing data sets, finding those trends in data sets, deep reasoning, deep thinking. There's so many different capabilities that have been added to these chatbots over time. They're incredibly powerful now, even compared to 1 year ago, right? So I guess the thing for statisticians there is to try to collect all that information, understand all that information, and process that information so that we can adjust our prices, our price indices within the consumer price index to record. In this case, it'll be a price reduction, right? Because that sticker price is the same, huge increases, huge benefits in terms of the in terms of the consumer, what the consumer is receiving. So we should be recording that as a price reduction.
Okay, so even though as a consumer, I just see a flat price line,
Sure.
just $20, $20, $20. What you're telling me is a price statistician, you see, no, your price is going way down. You're just getting so much more
Absolutely.
for that $20 today than you were before, and you reflect that as a price decrease, which in a world where prices are generally going up, this is maybe good news that
sure.
some
For
of these
sure.
prices are going down. So you mentioned, I think, a very important word, this word quality adjustment. Can you just maybe expand, like, why is this so important in price statistics compilation measurement?
Yeah, for sure. I guess, when it comes to quality adjustment, it's one of the more difficult things or difficult challenges, right, that we have when we're compiling consumer price index. And we can think of maybe some other examples other than the chatbots, right? So if we take computers, if you think about a computer today compared to, let's say, 20 years ago, it's dramatically different. The computing power that you have in that personal computer now is entirely different to what it was 20 years ago. However, let's say the price, the nominal price, hasn't changed so much, right? So on a per unit basis of computing power, we've seen dramatic falls in the price of personal computers. So I guess the challenge there, is for price statisticians to kind of record that correctly within the CPI. There's so many different areas and different product groups within the consumer price index that we need to manage. The chatbot is only, let's say, one of 400 price indices that we compute within the CPI, and each different product kind of presents different challenges, right? So, and we have to try to manage all of these things.
Yeah.
And remember as well, Jim, if the price statisticians are not doing their job very well and they're not computing their inflation statistics very well, these economic data are used to deflate your national accounts, right? So, so in that case, if we're not measuring inflation correctly, then we're not, disaggregating that growth in GDP into real and nominal changes.
And used to adjust pensions and wages as well. So,
Exactly, and everything, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically from chocolate bars to chatbots, price measurement is certainly a challenge for you statisticians. Well, this has been great. I mean, you really explained how something that looks like a flat price to me is actually a price decline in the price measurement world. So the next time you hear about a chatbot subscription still costing $20 per month, remember that doesn't necessarily mean the price hasn't changed. If the service keeps getting better, consumers may be actually experiencing a decline in the quality adjusted price. Thanks to Barra Casey for helping us understand how statisticians measure prices in a world where technology improves faster than ever. And remember, behind every AI subscription price, there's a statistician like Barra figuring out how to measure it.